If you had to chase your city around with an auto-battling hero while you built it in a roguelike fashion, would you be able to get it done? Would it be any fun? Can you handle a pun? Watch on and find out. My name is Thoraxe, and this is Strategy for Busy People. If you've got a few minutes, I'll tell you what to play. We've been looking at a lot of builders lately, and I'm going out on a limb and calling Monsters Are Coming, Rock and Road from Ludogram, a builder. I played it for just over 2 hours to see what I could, build? Yeah. When I first started playing this game, I couldn't figure out quite what the heck was going on, and I liked that it didn't really have a tutorial because I had to, figure out what was going on. In this game, you have a moving city, and it just goes in a straight line. Your job as the hero is to protect it while it's on that journey. Unsurprisingly, based on the title alone, you should have expected that there would be monsters that are, coming, and you have to defend your city from them. It seems simple enough. One thing that you may either love or hate about this game is that you can only control where your hero goes, but not particularly what it does. I mean, yes, you can attack monsters or harvest resources, but you do that just by going near them, and the hero swings the weapon or shoots the things automatically. A long time ago, I had reviewed Vampire Survivors, and this game actually has a lot of similar tropes. On the enemy front, there's honestly not a whole lot to talk about. There are quite a lot of them, and they're all different types, and you mostly just have to keep them from killing you or killing your city. Once in a while, a super big weird boss one shows up, but it doesn't seem like that happens on every run, or maybe it does, but whatever, it's not all that important. Killing the enemies drops blue mana dots, which are used to level up, but while you would think that you would level up your hero this way, you're actually leveling up your city. When you level up your city, you get to choose from a few different things to build, and this is where the builder aspect comes into play. There are buildings that can do damage to enemies in various forms, and there are buildings that will accrue various resources over time. There are buildings that buff other buildings too. The strategy here is in placing the buildings such that you maximize adjacency bonuses within the buildable area, because, as you can see, you can't build everywhere. As I mentioned, this is a rogue-lite. There are several cities that you can choose to take on your run, and each of them has unique properties. The stated properties are obvious, but their implications may not be until you have played the game a lot, which happens to be a common rogue-lite trope. One such example is this mirror city. Everything you place will be placed in the mirrored position on the other side, but they cost twice as much. Is this good? Is this bad? Well, it's just different, and you'll have to deal with that. At various points along the path, you will reach safe areas where you can do some shopping for upgrades for your hero. There are different weapons that all have different effects. Which of them are good? Who knows? You will just have to try. With most of these choices, you have a re-roll option, but the interesting thing about re-rolling, at least for city upgrades, is that you get a completely new set of choices, not just replacements for the chosen, unchosen choices. So one strategy is to potentially pick the best of a few options and then re-roll to get a whole new set of choices. But beware, rolling costs you money. When you complete a run, you're awarded progression points and rewards. The rewards come mostly in the form of different buildings that you can place on future runs. The progression points allow you to purchase upgrades for your character, your city, etc. This metagame of choosing what things are available to you on a run and picking your base city starts to feel a bit like the game Loop Hero, which we also reviewed. There's clearly some builds, pun intended, that will work well for different biomes that you can choose to run with. Hey, before I give my final verdict, if this is your first episode, this one's free. But if you've watched me before, we're going to make an agreement. You help me level up by clicking subscribe, and I'll keep making these videos. I'll spend the time playing the games and making content that I hope you'll like, and you'll return the favor, okay? Leave comments, tell me what you think. It's all good. You just agree to engage. That's all I ask. The final verdict. The graphics and sounds are cute, the explosions are plentiful, and the hordes are, hordy? Massive? Whatever. For what is a game that sort of has relatively few moving parts, it manages to be quite entertaining. There is a fair bit of strategic depth you can get into if you really want to do the metagame, where you can just YOLO and do a run to see what happens. It'll never take that long. On my trademarked 3-point score scale of avoid, meh, and I forgot to eat, there's not much to eat on this rock and road unless you count smushed spiders, which I don't consider appetizing. If you like these types of, quote, play to earn more ways to play, this game is actually quite fun for what it is, and you might want to give it a try. Or you could just pack up the whole city and go on down the road to the diner.